Welcome to the first 40 Sports Show with the Goose Squad. We're all hot, bothered, and ready to give you.
This is up now, baby. He's up now.
We're coming closer to our hiatus. We're doing the Big Al thing tonight. We're going to be doing the Big Al for the rest of the year until we get back to football season. First hot topic we're going to talk about tonight. Scottie Pippen states that Phil Jackson is a racist, and he's been on the news for the last 2 weeks comparing KD to LeBron and trying to sell his janky-ass bourbon and the book that's coming out a little bit late. But me and Black talked a little bit about this, so I'm going to go to Ice, man. What do you think about Scottie Pippen's statement that Phil Jackson is a racist?
Damn, what took you so long? I mean, I'm serious, man. They went through all this stuff. It's almost hard to really take him seriously, right? You're going through all of the stuff. Everybody talking about how great the Bulls were and then how he made top 50. And you never heard an inkling, I haven't anyway, about him having any suspicion of Phil Jackson in any manner. You always hear him talk. He talked about the general manager being upset about that, but you never really heard him and Phil having the issue, even when it came down to, what was it, the headache situation or whatever. I mean, it's just been the migraines, but I've never heard this over all the years. Then all of a sudden, after Michael Jordan comes out with his little, whatever it was, his Jordan
documentary.
Yeah, his thing, and he getting more love, and people still paying attention. He's more relevant, and Scottie's still not getting the love that he think he deserves when he kind of dropped the ball and didn't show up for Portland. Anyway, that's another story. That's my person that we can talk about one day. But I don't know. I just don't understand it right now. It's kind of like an old wound, right? You know, you talk about, oh, that happened to me back then, or this I was. What is the purpose of it now? Why did you wait so long if it was the case, right? Why did you wait? And I'm sitting there going like, you never said anything about this before, and all you had to do was talk about you were enjoying being the second fiddle or whatever it is, winning championships, all this other stuff. And even when you went to other teams, I never heard anything. Now, all of a sudden, in 2021, I don't know how long he's been removed from the league. All of a sudden, by the way, I want y'all to know Phil Jackson is a racist. Really? Really? What the fuck are you talking about? And why? Why now? Why now? That's all I want to know. Why? What reason would you say that now? That's all I want to know. All them other times, You've been on NBA as a broadcaster. You've done all this other stuff. You're all over the place. Anytime you speak, most people listen. You can get a media person to listen to you, right? Because you Scottie Pippen. You top 50, bruh. Why now? It's 2021. You're 99 years old. All kinds of shit happened in your life. Excuse my language. But why now? You need some attention? I want to know Phil's reaction. I'm gonna leave that right there.
I think me and Black talked about this earlier. I think Phil's going to take the high road. I don't even think he's going to respond to this, to be honest with you. And me and Black talked about this a couple of days ago. We were talking about something else and we got into this. And my thing, Black, is that the media really fooled Scottie Pippen in believing he was top 50 and that he was this great player like a Kobe, like a Jordan, like a LeBron, like a KD. And he's not, and he's finding it out the hard way. You should be mad at the sports media for hyping you up, putting you in the Hall of Fame, all these accolades on the coattails of Michael Jordan with the championships, with the Olympics and everything. Because when you had a chance to be the man with the Bulls, you proved to still be the boy. When you had a chance to be the man in Portland, it wasn't in you. It wasn't in you. So the media really did a job on Scottie Pippen, Black.
I'm not going to blame the media on this one. I'm not. I think for me, it's sad, real sad, when one basically throws out racism and don't understand racism. Racism is not when a white guy gets to play over you in a basketball game and it's a team sport game. That's not racism, bro. Racism is not when your coach basically is not black and decide not to go with you, whatever reason, basically thinking that we could win the game with a shot. There are people that's currently in this country, and there's people that have died in this country behind racism. For you to come out really and have the audacity to call that be racism, bro. Where have you been for your entire freaking life? I just don't understand it. And I don't even know if I have to say anything more than that because I think I said it all. He wants attention. Scotty's like a little kid that's left in the playground. Everybody else left and went on and done other things. And he's sitting there, doesn't know, what can I do in my life? What can I do? I didn't get the chance to basically go on and have a shoe. I didn't get a chance to go on and be a good sports commentator. I didn't get a chance to do this. No one pays attention to me. Even during I didn't even watch the documentary series. Everyone talks about that series about Michael Jordan. No one talks about Scottie Pippen. So it's not that the media did him a favor, bro. They didn't do him a disservice. They did him a favor, but he was not man enough to take advantage of it and elevate himself to a level where Scottie Pippen's name would mean something beyond basketball. You have cats that are basically, they're stunk in their sport, but go beyond their sport and do better. And I'm not saying this cat stunk, but look at Tony, the quarterback with CBS doing the announcing. He's found a way to elevate his name after the game. Scottie Pippen clearly doesn't know what to do with himself. So writing a book, putting your name on a booze that you're not making in the first place, it's not going to do it, bro. It's just not going to do it. And you're picking on, I thought about this too. Phil Jackson has been around black players all his freaking life. You remember he played with the Knicks years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Think about this, bro. You know how many times, if they probably, let's think about this for a second. If Phil Jackson gave forth a hint of being a racist, how many times he got his ass kicked back and forth? Just think about that, bro. Here's a man that's been around black people, coach black players. He has a litany of black players he coached. He loved black people and hate black players so much. He gave Derek Fisher $5 million a year to come coach the Knicks. We know Derek Fisher couldn't coach. Yeah, that's racism, bro. That is true all-out racism. So it angers me that some of us that has no clue when everything was going on with stuff in the past 2 years was going on, what was going on Black Lives, Scottie Pippen opened his mouth. I'm going to say it just like it is. I'm not watering it down. He didn't open his mouth. But now that you got a book, you got the nerve to kind of stand up on racism. It bothers me when black people conveniently want to be black and use racism as a tool when it's not there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because one of the things that really bothered me about this story and him is that he thinks he's on that level with Kobe, LeBron, KD, and KD kind of just snapped back, just clapped back at him and like, yo, man, ain't you the same dude that set out 1.7 seconds because the play wasn't called for you? And you talking about me as a player? It's almost like they're saying, you ain't even on my level, bro. I'm willing to take the shot. I'm willing to play a team ball. You're saying I'm not a team player, but I don't quit on my team. And I think when I say the sports media really kind of fooled him and he should be mad at them, it's because they don't love you like Kobe, man. That's what Draymond Green said it best when he was talking to Paul Pierce. They don't love you like that, man. You're looking for a farewell tour and all that. They don't love you like that, man. They don't even love you in Chicago like that. You were part of the role players. It was Jordan and the Jordanaires. I ain't never heard them say Jordan and Pippen and the rest of the team. You were part of role players. When I look at the stats on that game, you had a horrible game. I remember that game when you sat out. You had a horrible game. You had some critical turnovers. Tony Kukoc was the right call. He hit the shot. And even though they lost the series, they won that game and you quit on your team. You quit on your team before when you claimed you were hurt and didn't play a season because you were mad at a contract that you signed. So you got nobody to blame but yourself on your career. And I don't want to read your book. What you gonna lie about? What you gonna lie about in your book? You were part of the role players. If you look at that roster in the 94 playoffs, with the Bulls, that roster ain't scaring nobody. But if you had Jordan on there, oh yeah, it's a whole another ball game. But with you had a chance to do it. You had a chance to be the man in several places, and you couldn't do it. You ain't had it in you. As my grandmother used to say, it ain't in you. It ain't in you, and it ain't in you now. So I don't know who's gonna buy that janky bourbon or dumbass book that he comes out with. I know you ain't write it because you don't seem like a very intelligent man to kind of put I'm just putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. But I've told people here in Chicago who are Scottie Pippen fans, that guy should never been in the top 50. Matter of fact, what we need to do is take you out the top 50, put KD or LeBron in right now. You got it on coattails of Michael Jordan. And you think you should be the marquee player, and everywhere you go, people should just kind of bow to you. Man, they've got you good.
One question they should ask Scottie Pippen is, why do you want to take the last shot when Daniels was up in Daniels in the New York Knicks was basically punking you off all those series, bro? Why you take the last shot then? You didn't want to be on the floor. You fake. If I remember correctly, you had headaches back then. Am I correct?
Migraines. Detroit used to punk you all the time. Punk them all the time. Punk them. This is what they used to do, because I got it from guys that used to play with him, and then when I used to go and hang out with my boys in Detroit. When he would come to Detroit the night before, they'd take them out, him and Horace out partying, get them drunk. Yeah, man, we cool. Get them on court and dog them the next day. Old school move. Like we friends, but when you get in the court, we ain't friends. So, you have nobody to blame for your career and all this but yourself. But you're dragging people in, using racism, trying to dog the players who don't even respect you. When the younger players talk about people who they pattern their game behind, do you ever hear Scottie Pippen's name come up? It's Kobe, it's Michael, it's Shaq, it's KD, it's everybody, Kyrie, anybody but Scottie Pippen. So it's sad to see, but you deserve to eat this one. You deserve to eat this one. All right, Serena. Father Time is pounding on the door. And I got a feeling, Black, that Serena's not going to stop playing until they drag her off a tennis court at this particular point. She's going to play till she's 50 if she can. But they're going to have to drag this woman off the tennis court. She got hurt, slipped on, and I saw a few players slip on the grass in Wimbledon, but she got injured doing it. So I know what you're going to say, but we're going to go with it.
On this same very show, I've been called a sexist because I talk about Serena Williams, bro. It ain't nothing new. It's nothing new. I mean, Serena's 39 years old, bro. 39. It's like, when you going to put that racket up and just do something else? Oh, how about be a mom? How about that? How about be a mom? And I know you can say I'm being racist. I said the same thing about Tiger Woods before he tried to kill himself a couple of months ago. Go be a dad. Sometimes you have a period of life. I see you shaking your head. It is what it is, bro. Sometimes in life, when you're not smart enough to realize, I'm not going to do this no more, life takes it away from you. And as we're starting to see, life is taken away from her. It just is. And she's not smart enough to realize it. Move on. You accomplished some great things. I would have hoped you'd have opened door for people to walk through, but you didn't. You really didn't. Because the young lady that did walk through, you had no respect for her. So yes, go be with your husband, raise your daughter, cut your hair. Oh, that's not your hair anyway. Cut your hair. Leave your skin the same color that you was born with, but go live your life. Tennis is not available to you anymore. It's just not. And the more you're going to keep trying to make it available to you, the more you're going to basically have people laugh at you.
It's fire tonight. We probably get banned off YouTube with this show. But anyway, Ice, your response to Serena, I saw it, and before she got hurt, I'm like, Father Time is pounding on the door for Serena.
I mean, it's hard for a lot of people to realize that it's a wrap. It's hard because you're used to playing at a certain level, and it's hard to accept. Tiger Woods is definitely a damn big example for that. But the sad thing about with Tiger Woods is golf has nobody else. So they just keep throwing him out there, and he's nowhere near. He's not even close to being anywhere near, not even a part of himself. Serena, on the other hand, are other people. And it's just hard for her because now she has the little daughter. She's married, trying to do some other things, and the body's not going to let her do what she wants to do. These younger players coming for her, and it's just she has no answers. And when you fall down or you always have a reason as to why you can't compete the way that you did, it must be frustrating as hell for her right now. Because what else are you going to do? I mean, she might be in the closing line, whatever else she's going to do. You can be a mom as Black Thor would say. But you know, she could be a mom, but I mean, she's used to doing some other stuff. So I don't know. I think he's just catching up with it. And the sad thing about it is the other players are getting better. And
Yes.
that's the other thing. There's more players from all walks of life that are coming in there, and you can see the wave. You know, you can see the wave. Not just one or two of them. There's certain ones that really can give her a challenge. And then, of course, it goes back to the referees and the officials and people not doing the right thing. And I don't know. I just hope at some point she has a come to Serena moment or whatever it is to realize that it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. And I know it's going to be hard. Like you said, they're probably going to take her off the court.
Yeah.
Vinny's going to probably have to come get her.
Yeah.
Vinny's going to be like, no, baby, it's okay. Well, no, baby, she going to have to come get her. But it's hard. I mean, we laugh and we joke, but for some people, that's all they got. And they rich and everything. But you're like, well, just ride off into the sunset and just be one of those greats. They come to the matches and wave, you know, and get your gifts, get your love, get your flowers. You can teach your daughter. She can teach her daughter how to play tennis.
Go on to coaching. Yeah.
I mean, or teach your daughter. I mean, she can be just like you, but it's hard to walk away, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel for her in a way because I know it's hard, but you know, we all had to deal with it. You know,
I was talking to an older elder one day about you know, life and things of that sort, and he was saying, you know, he had his signature move back in his day, but when the signature move didn't work anymore, he had to learn how to do something else.
Yeah. Hey, it's like anything else. I was telling my dude, he's like, well, do you still ball? I said, I shoot set shots by myself. He said, what happened? I said, I can't touch the rim no more.
So once things don't work out like you used to, Black, you gotta come up with.
And you gotta realize when they come at you, them young people, one thing I know is I can't check a young person. He give me that ball fake, I'm done. So you gotta realize you don't belong out there. Just walk away. Young people say, you want to play? You want to run with his neck? Hell no. You want to play one-on-one? Hell no. You want to play horse? Yes, I'm your man. 3-pointers only? Come see me. Other than that, hell no.
Like the old Toby Keith song, I ain't as good as I used to be.
Exactly. Right? I'm not good as I used to be. It's like we all have limitations throughout our life, bro. And it's best when you realize them before they basically tap you on the shoulder and tell you that you have them. And for some reason, she's fighting not to realize it. And it's sad, too, that she hasn't developed something else. A clothesline is a joke. I'll be honest with you. She hasn't developed something else to do, bro. It's sad. To see her out there crying at 39, it's sad, bro. It's sad. But yeah.
Maybe deep down she knows. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe deep down she knows. But
if you knew, you wouldn't have been out there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been out there.
Yeah. So now that takes her out the Olympics and all that other stuff. Let's go to the NBA, the eye test on the Western and Eastern Conference playoffs. Give me your eye test, Ice.
Wow. If you thought about this way back when, you said who was going to be vying for the NBA to the finals championship, there's no way in hell you would come up with these teams. I know there's injuries, there's all kind of stuff going on, but you got to give it to them because I think it's good to see new teams up there. Start with the East. Milwaukee trying to move along. Atlanta showed a lot of intestinal fortitude. They stepped up to the mic, jumping out early, winning that first game. Now, you thought with Trae Young being shut down, they were going to really struggle, but they were able to get it back. It's 2-2 now, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-2. So with Giannis getting hurt, they came back. I like Atlanta because they're gritty. I think Milwaukee were the favorites. Everybody said it now at this point to try to win it all, but it's just something about them that I just don't know. It's almost like I don't know whether or not they believe they can win the title. And they say they talk the game and everything, but with their play, you kind of wonder. And if Giannis is out, I don't know how long he's going to be out. If he is out at all, that's going to be a problem. Because again, you're asking yourself, can Middleton in the game rise above the challenge again? And if Trae Young's not out, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a major problem. I'm not sure if they have the rest of the group can get them by without Giannis. I really mean that. Atlanta, Nate McMillan, I'm not going to just throw it all on him, but I think collectively as a group, they're playing pretty good basketball. I'm interested to see what the health roster says. What we're going to find out about these guys in the next couple of days, because I think it's going to have very significant deal on the outcome of the series. And in the West, man, that's crazy over there. Paul George must have heard me talking about him, boy, because I was like, this mother, you know what? And he finally tried to show up, but then again, is it enough? The Clippers are refusing to die, at least even out with Kawhi Leonard. I love Tyrone Lue. I think he's doing a hell of a job. I'm serious about that because of the factor that when you get Reggie Jackson being like the second leading scorer with a Kawhi being out and just playing his butt off and so many others, just giving what they can give you and maybe getting Paul George to kind of resurrect this game a little bit. I give him a lot of credit for doing that. And Terrence Mann, my goodness. Yeah. You talk about the future of that team. If they stick with him without trading him, he's going to be a tough customer. But I had to give it up, man. I'm loving this so much about them damn Phoenix Suns. Because Monty Williams, I'm loving the factor that they're playing great basketball. They're playing like they don't even know they're supposed to be this good. And Chris Paul finally might be getting there. And it's going to be a tough game. People are saying that they think it's going to go 7. I'm not sure about that. But Chris Paul is playing. And Ayton, man, is, oh, man. When you take that dude and tell him he doesn't have to be the number one guy, he's playing his ass off, getting these double-doubles. And Devin Booker is just a monster. Like, and they have so many other pieces. I want to see them move on because I think this is their year. It might have been a lot of injuries or things that caused it to be their year, but right now I think it's their year. I would love to see them in the finals, and I think they can win it. But the question is, can they overtake the Clippers? I think they could beat the Clippers one more time, so I'm looking forward to see what happens. I think they have at least one more victory. They're going to get one of these two, and they'll advance to the finals.
Yeah, it's a gladiator sport. Folks get hurt, they fall by the wayside. So who's ever standing at the end of it, Black, that's the champion. You crown them, that's it. Injuries are part of the sport. Your eye test, bro.
Yeah, I agree with that. To me, if you could play in a bubble, win a championship, don't complain if you don't make it at the end of this year, bro. I'm sorry. I'm being honest. It's just some of these players crack me up. Even now, you look at some of these players, Durant basically played a quarter of a season. He's going to play in the Olympics. Why not rest your body? Every year they run and do these extra things they don't have to do. And I'm not, to me, if the elevation of the game itself, if the play has basically diminished because some of the stars on it, I would say, yeah, okay, it's a bad thing. It's been some good basketball, bro. Very good basketball, and I'm happy to see it. I'm going to start in the East. Something about Milwaukee, man. I kind of piggyback when I said, it's just like sometimes it's there, but they don't go get it. You see it there, but they don't go get it. They'll play up to that point, and then they just find things that kind of just like shoot themselves in the foot. I'm going to give Giannis credit until he got hurt. He did start stepping up, doing some very good moves, starting trying to make it happen, especially in this series. So it's hard to see him go down with that injury because the brother is close. But there's something about Atlanta, bro. This team refuses to die. It's just something inside them since Nate McMillan has took over. He's given them a hope and a belief that, hey, if we just can make it to the fourth quarter, we can play with anybody, we'll beat anybody. And I even think if traders are come back, I still believe they're going to win this series. Because last night, I put the game on pause. When I came back, Phoenix was up by 20-some points. But you can look at Milwaukee. They were playing so uninspired. I know Giannis got hurt, but are you kidding me? There was nobody on that team that said, you know what? Let me step my game up. Let me go. You guys are professional, bro. Honestly, there shouldn't be one person that goes down and the air goes out of the balloon like, okay, let's just lose this game tonight. Not as a professional ball squad. I don't understand that. And that's what you saw. I don't think it's going to get any better for them. I don't think Giannis should try to come back and play at least the next game. If they can make it to the finals, he wants to come back, I understand that. But this series, he doesn't need to come back. He should try to not come back if he wants to basically have some longevity in his career. I look at the Phoenix Suns series, and I look at the first 2 games, the way the Phoenix Suns play without Chris Paul, bro. They were a totally different team. They played faster. They moved the ball. They scored more fluently. Chris Paul has come back. If you watch him closely, he's pounding the rock for like 8 seconds before he passed it. He's trying to be something that he's not. He's taking a lot of shots. That's not Chris Paul's game. He's an old man out there with a bunch of young players trying to be the old head, bro. Let them play, and you compliment them. They had this series won, in my opinion, until Chris Paul came back. And he's basically slowed them down. And I mean, they're grinding it out now, and that's not who they are. These are some young guns. They want to get out there and run, but out of respect for him, they're allowing him to basically take over. And to me, he's messing up their chemistry. Not in a super bad way, but he's changed their flow, and they're not the same team. They're just not. I think they'll win this series. I think they're good enough, and they're well coached. Monty Williams is doing a hell of a job to basically get there. And to me, them against Atlanta, who would have thought that at the beginning of the season? But it doesn't matter, because for whatever reason, if those teams make it, they made it through the gauntlet. They're there. I don't want to hear about the injuries, the stars that make it, whatever the case may be. I don't want to hear it, because a lot of cats that make these big dollars, they don't take care of the bodies in the offseason. They don't care, especially some that won championships already. They don't. LeBron wasn't playing this year to win another championship. LeBron was playing to try to basically be MVP. He didn't care about a championship. He won an MVP, bro. Anthony Davis, in my opinion, once he won his, he don't care if he never wins another one. Same thing with Kyrie Irving. They don't care. They just don't care. So these little injuries that they run from, and I'm amazed now. When you think about how training and everything is different now. Years ago, players, name me players that basically set up with all these injuries back in the day. They played. Now these guys, man, they get a broken nail, then I'm out for 3 or 4 weeks. Are you kidding me? It's just, and you can't tell me that the injuries now are more severe than what back then. The training that they had back then compared to back then was not the same. They don't have the same type of doctors. So how are all these players are basically sustaining these injuries out for 3, 4 months? Can't make it through. I'm not buying it, bro. But I think it's gonna come down to Phoenix and Atlanta. To me, that'd be a very good series. Phoenix is a very good team, but they need to kind of basically hold CP3. At some point, I know it might be a little tough, because he's the oldest man. You want to kind of get him to the finals. He's trying to put this team on his back, but he doesn't have to. Let them play.
Yeah, that always puzzled me too, about the injuries now. Back when we watched the playoffs, I hate keep going back with the younger viewers and like, oh man, y'all always talking about the past. But in the past, when you had playoff series, you don't remember too many guys getting hurt. And if they did get hurt, they played hurt most of the time. I remember Isaiah, the one that sticks out to me, Isaiah Thomas playing on a bad ankle in the finals, and would not sit down and just grabbing for whatever he could to stay on that court. But I just can't remember a time where, injuries really kind of stopped teams from winning. And I'm a Knicks fan, and Willis Reed coming back from his injury, things of that sort, and inspiring the team. You just don't see that anymore. Coaching hires. Going to you, Ice, there have been a lot of coaching changes. I was reading this article about why Portland didn't go with Becky Hammon. It was the Damian Lillard kind of phenomenon going there. And Chauncey Billups gets the job. But there's a story we may cover later about a sexual assault story of Chauncey Billups a few years ago, and how Portland's going to deal with that. In Dallas, they're doing the same thing with Jason Kidd with domestic violence. It seems like it doesn't matter what you do in your past. And Dallas has a track record of doing some crazy things. So, and the brother that was with Boston, I actually thought the Knicks was going to pick him as a coach when they were looking for their coach. But I think that was a good move for Boston. Ice, what are your thoughts about the coaching moves?
Yeah, it's a lot going on, a lot of drama, a lot of people upset. I'm gonna start one way, which is interesting too. I'm starting in Indiana. Rick Carlisle leaves Dallas.
Yeah.
Before you can blow your nose and wink your eye, he's in Indiana. And it's like, okay. And Kevin Pritchard used to play for Kansas back in the day. They're really good friends. And they really didn't do a search. It was like, this is our guy. He's been here before. He's a winner. He has pedigree. Rick Carlisle has been in the Indiana Pacers coach before. He was assistant under Larry Bird as well in Indiana. And that's just who they wanted. And they wasted no time to get him because they wanted that whole pedigree thing going. But knowing that he had a few issues with some of the star players, it'll be interesting to see how these players that he has now, how they're going to react to him. And they said, well, he has a winning pedigree. He won 1 championship. So we'll see. I think that's an interesting hire. See how that works out. The coach in Boston, a little surprised by that, but I get it. I mean, he's paid his dues. He's going to have a lot of undertaking in Boston, because Boston, when you take over that franchise, they want to win right now. And with the players that they have, I just hope that he's ready for that. The only thing about, like you say, anything that you don't know, the unknown, for some assistants, you just don't know. But he's been trained well. great solid hire. I also didn't know his fiance was Nia Long. That's not relevant, but it is to me anyway. But
salute.
Find that out. So that's interesting. But the other two hires, I was really surprised by Jason Kidd being hired by Dallas. I thought Jason Kidd would be in Orlando. I thought that would be a different type situation for him. But I mean, he's been to Dallas. They know him. He's played there, and just the drama and everything. I was surprised he took the job because of all of the baggage that people know about him or supposedly know about him going back to Dallas. But hey, you got to do what you got to do if you want to be a coach to prove it. And Chauncey Billups couldn't even get into the city really for a minute. And they just came after him after this allegation or whatever it is, this assault situation. And I don't know. And then, you talk about the Becky Hammon thing. We got to talk about that at a later time because I'm telling you, everybody's pumping Becky Hammon up. Oh, it's a shame, whatever. But, when they're saying that the Portland people are saying they reached out to San Antonio and she didn't get the best reviews. And that's what she is. That's what she is. And they're saying to the point that, the day-to-day operation, day-to-day coaching things, duties, they're not sure. They weren't really sure. And it's open. But I always said if she's going to get a shot, it's going to be in San Antonio. That's just me. I'm not sure if these GMs are going to let her roll like that. I think Portland had the opportunity. They brought her in. They said she's one of the top 3 people. So if she was all that, why didn't they hire her? That's my question. Why didn't they hire her? So they went with Billups. Great opportunity for him. But I hope his affairs are in order because they're already watching him like a hawk. And he's not even, he just got in the building.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. You get hired and then all of a sudden your past just smacks you right back in the face. Black, coaching hires, what's your thoughts, man?
I don't know what the Pacers are doing, bro. I just don't know. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes your boy is not the best hire. I don't care what he's done. Sometimes your boy, I might need my house painted. My boy may not, he might be a drunk of a painter. I'm not hiring him. It's just what it is. This guy was on a talented team and could not make it happen in Detroit. Like I said, he fought with the players. They ran him out because he didn't get well. He didn't get along well with Luka. Come on, bro. I mean, what are you doing bringing him back to the Pacers? I don't care what he did years ago. It's just at some point, like Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? I don't understand the Pacers. They just find reasons after reasons to make that franchise stay stuck in the sand. Larry Bird was there for years, couldn't get nothing done. They kept kissing and licking him. What happened? I'm sorry, man. You just have to basically forget about who you know sometimes, hire somebody that can elevate the franchise. I'm surprised as hell that Dallas hired Jason Kidd. If one thing Jason Kidd shows you is that he don't like people, he's not going to get along with everybody. I just don't like. You just got rid of a coach who couldn't get along with Luka. Now you're bringing in a coach that's going to hug him and kiss him? I just don't understand that, man. I don't. Some of these thought process blows my mind. I will say this. I think Boston made a good hire with the cat they brought in. Portland brought in Chauncey Billups for one reason and hired him for one reason. They can say what they want to about Becky Hammon. They're only saying that because they got egg on their face. Because Damian Lillard probably going to leave if they didn't hire Chauncey Billups. Damian, I love you, but he is not your route to a championship, bro. He's just not your route. I'll be honest with you. It's going to take him a while to get his legs under him. That team is not put together well to win a championship. So if you think about standing up and, letting him listen to you and they hire Chauncey, good luck. I'm not sure what's going on with San Antonio or Becky Hammon, but I find it hard to believe. I really just find this hard to believe and a little suspicious that they don't hire her, but you bring her back for a second interview. You don't hire her. But anytime a man you don't hire, they brought back 3 people for an interview. No one else, they said, well, we didn't hire this person because we found out X, Y, Z. But all of a sudden, you call her out on stuff that you don't never hear nobody else say. If you don't hire her, they just don't say don't hire her. But you bring out her, what you didn't hire for, no, because your fans are looking at you. You hired a guy that signed off and basically paid someone they was accused of raping. This is 2021, bro. If he don't come in and handle that well, that's going to dog his career as a head coach in Portland, bro, whether we like it or not. It's just is. And I'm not saying he's not entirely a head coach, but you know and I know, with where things are right now, trust me, you can't come in and not get it done, bro, because they're always going to remind you of that. I found it interesting that he brought it up to the press conference And then the PR person ran in like, oh, no, wait a minute. Let the man answer, because in a way, you could have got done with it and moved on. But now you open the door. You better believe the woman that accused them, they're running her down right now, bro. There's gonna be so many microphones in front of her. And if the time has expired, because whenever you sell a case like that for a certain period of time, you can't say nothing if you take the funds. That was a while ago. The time has expired, and somebody's willing to pay her, and she come out and said what Chauncey did to her.
I got a name for you. Gloria Allred.
She's on it, bro.
Yeah.
You know she's on it. She's on it. So it's like, I don't, and the funny thing is, here's what I find with Portland's doing double talk. I don't know if you read the same thing I read, Puma. The owner wanted Becky Hammond.
Yes.
The owner wanted Becky Hammond. So you can't come out and tell me you found some things about her. No, you're making some stuff up, my brother. They found, no, the owner signed off on her, but the general man, now, not only that, you know, Chauncey's on the hot seat, the general manager, because if she starts talking, guess who's going along with Chauncey?
Yeah. Let's go to our Major League Baseball news and report with Ice Water, sponsored by absolutely nobody at all. Ice, what you got?
Not yet. We're gonna have a cognac sponsor, and we're gonna have I think I'm gonna get your girl Fenty to some little lingerie thing going. I'm looking at talking
Rihanna?
about people. Yeah.
Rihanna? You gonna get Rihanna?
Get that hookup, right? Yeah. I'm laughing. All right. Okay. When you start,
hey man, I'm laughing for joy.
When you start seeing stuff in the background, you like really Ice is just tripping. Okay.
I'm gonna get Black to take out A$AP Rocky or whoever that dude is she with.
Because she's doing a lot of things, bro. She looking forward to doing some things. She's doing her own little makeup, nighttime makeup. She making a lot of money, so I think she got a little coin for some brothers trying to make it. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, until that happens, it's sponsored by
Five Guys.
Rich by your Five Guys or Rayon Cognac. Anyway, here we go. Let's look at the standings real quick. In the AL East, Boston leads Tampa Bay by 2.5 games. Still moving along. Boston playing pretty good baseball. In the Central, White Sox up 2.5 on Cleveland. Cleveland still trying to hang in there, even though they haven't played great baseball. In the West, Houston leads Oakland by 1.5 games. In the NL East, the Mets are still making it happen, despite all the controversy that's happened previously in the year, but up by 2.5 on the Washington Nationals. In the Central, Milwaukee is in first place. They lead the Cubs by 6 games. In the West, San Francisco leads the mighty, money-grubbing, alleged Dodgers. Has all the talent in the world, and they're still leading them by 1.5 games. I want to talk real quick about 2 things. Albert Pujols signed with the Dodgers, and he's really been making noise with them. A lot of people thought his career was over. He was washed up, but he's really been showing that he can be a major contributor to this team. I'm talking to Dodgers, that is, and can help them in the postseason. Has been great, but he's been more than serviceable, and I think he's earned his money so far this year. And another note, the former New York Mets GM, Jake Porter, they got caught up in all of the scandal with the sexual, not assault, but sexual text messages and all this stuff to reporters. And he just got hired like in November, then they fired him in March. He made some great moves in the off season, then they fired him. He's only been suspended until the end of 2022, which I found very interesting. All this drama and everything. So he could be back in baseball by 2023. So just stay out the phone, bro. Stay out the phone. Kelvin Sampson, stay out the phone. Anyway, stay out the phone. He'll be all right. But it's just amazing how short his suspension is going to be. And last but not least, on the baseball front, baseball, stop, man. Stop, for real. Stop. The sticky substances and y'all checking everybody. If you walk into the stadium, they checking everybody. They check one of the Oakland A's pitcher. Dude said, "I'm just using rosin, man. I've been using rosin. That's what they give us. They hand it to you. That's what I use." They said, "Well, it was some sticky substances in your hat." It's the rosin. What the hell? I put it on my gloves, put it on my hair, put it inside my hat. It's rosin. It's stinky. The hell you want me to do? Well, you got some illegal substances. Y'all tripping, man. Seriously. Why don't you let people get back to watching the game the way it's supposed to be played and quit talking about these elections, these allegations to the, oh, that's a strike. All this, I mean, damn, you killing me, man. Y'all are killing me with all this drama. Let them dudes play the game. Let people watch it and be done with it, because if you keep doing this stuff, people are going to turn away. They already turned away. So you might want to just calm your nerves.
This is how stupid it is. You have a pitcher who gets touched up in the inning. I mean, just raked across the coals in the inning, maybe give up 3, 4, 5 runs. Umpires come right after they get the third out, come and check them. Check them for what? What are you checking them for? Obviously, he has no substances on because you're getting touched up for 4 or 5 runs. What are you checking? Why are you stopping the game? This is some sad shit. Baseball needs to be ashamed of themselves. This is some really sad shit right now. Maybe they needed attention. I don't know. Black, let's go to WNBA in your report, bro.
One guy says a long time ago, you say it every Saturday, not so fast. I say that to the Chicago Sky, man, because they're playing confident and playing cohesive. And they've been scoring 90 points in some games, man. And believe it or not, they're back in contention. I know one player can make a difference, and she has. Candace Parker has basically moved them into, if I'm not mistaken, they're in the top 4 spot right now. If the season, was to end right now, they would have a good ranking in the playoffs. Think about that for a second. When they lost all those games, they would be in the thick of things if playoff time came. Diana Taurasi became the first player in WNBA history to score 9,000 career points. May not sound like a lot, but when you think about it, when women basketball, it's quite a bit. Ioana Barner of Connecticut Sun, she was the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Sylvia Foles from Minnesota Lynx, she picked up the Western Conference Player of the Week. And it's funny because you look at Foles or Minnesota Lynx, that's a team that had kind of basically dropped down. And I'm wondering now, I looked at the Sparks. They're basically at the bottom of the list, of course, being coached by Darren Fisher. But they kind of cleaned things all up. They got rid of Gray, they got rid of Parker. I wonder how that's working out for them. Because season continue on, the 25th season anniversary of the WNBA season continue on. And they got the All-Star game come up in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that next week, if there's a show next week.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the report. Me and Ice going to talk boxing news in our overtime. Check out overtime where we go back and forth. We had a heated debate about dominant players, Grant Hill and LeBron James. And I don't know how Kevin Love got in the conversation, but Kevin Love got in the conversation. But check out our overtime dominant players.
He's in the Olympics, baby.
That's the story. Thanks for rolling into that story. I wanted to go into this. Do you think Jalen Rose should have walked back his statement saying they needed a white token for the Olympics and they picked Kevin Love? Because in my opinion, I don't think he should have walked back the statement because ain't no damn way Kevin Love should be on an Olympic team. Ice?
I'm going to just say this, man. Before you say something, you got to realize what's going on, all right? If you're afraid to say it, because you're on ESPN and, you got a nice little cushy job, you got a nice wife and everything is working in your favor, you're doing your own shows and podcasts, and then you back with the Fab Five and everybody having love affairs and stuff again. You got to realize what's in your universe. So when you say something, he no longer, in my opinion, can say stuff for effect, right? If you don't mean it, don't say it. I don't think you should walk back from it because evidently you said it, you meant it. And if you did meant it, you did mean it, why did you come back? Somebody got in his ear. You shouldn't be saying that the whole race relation, we in a serious type situation, whole Black Lives Matter. And say that at the weed spot, allegedly. Or
that's a low
barbershop.
That's a low
barbershop, wherever. I mean, whatever. You say it's in the comfort of your own home. You don't say that out like that, especially in the platform that you're in, particularly if you're not going to stand up to it. Because Jalen Rose is like this, man. You already know. You from around the way. You know what it's like. You know what it's like before you got the teeth fixed. You know the whole nine. You know what the drill is, bro. You can't just go around saying stuff when you're in that type of arena if you don't mean it. And sometimes they're going to make you or say, hey, you might want to dial that back. And evidently, he thought about it or somebody whispered in his ear because he dialed it back. Don't say it then. That's all I'm saying. We don't need you to prove that you're a tough dude and you're from around the way. We already know where you're from. Know the situation with your dad. Everybody know that. You know, we know about your daddy, Jimmy Walker. Know about all that. Everybody know the story. So you ain't got to keep proving you tough, bro. Get your coin, make your money, do what you do. Keep wearing the nice little suits, you know, with the little fly glasses, singing off tune, whatever.
Keep your hair tight.
Yeah, yeah. You ain't got to prove nothing else to us no more, bro. Keep your job, keep your money flowing. We don't need that from you. Especially if you ain't gonna stick with it. Because you said it, and it ain't even Black History Month. You're close to Juneteenth, but that's over too. But you ain't even close to the point. So don't just stick to the script, bro. Stick to the script.
So, June is Black History Month to me, but Black.
One day, bro. You get Juneteenth. What are you talking about?
Give me one day in June. I'm taking all of June. Black Music Month is Black History Month. As far as I'm concerned, give me the coldest month of the year. Talking about Black History Month. We are tropical people. We need to be out.
It's Pride Month, bro.
It's Black History, Black Music Month.
Well, I'll say this, man. I think Stephen A. Smith got in his ear, bro.
You can't be saying that about.
It's true, that man. You can't say. I'm just gonna say this.
Can I say one thing? You already told him they're gonna cut your foot off.
We're gonna beat the two. I'm just gonna say this, bro. What I said is correct, and that's where I think we're saying it early before we got in here. ESPN has a way of what they want to put out there, what they project with it. That's not what they want to put out there, bro. And I'm gonna give you the flip side of the coin. If a white person said about a black guy, there would have been an uproar. It would have been. Let's just be honest. It would have been an uproar. Realistically, it would have been an uproar. But ESPN does not welcome. They will not tolerate that type of talk, bro. They just want to strictly mainstream. They want to all popsicles, roses, everything. You know, act like that's what they want. Is ABC, is Disney. They don't want none of that smoke. Fox would have. He could have said that on Fox, and the ratings would have went up. Let's be honest. If it would have just went up. Ask Shannon Sharp. And that's the difference between the two networks, bro. ESPN's not going to tolerate that. So, like I said, there's nothing to prove. But at the same time, man, if you're going to be man enough to say it, don't walk it back. Because it's true. Don't walk it back. Really don't. Don't. It's you didn't say anything wrong. You said what you believe. Stand behind it. Be a man and stand up to it. So, I mean, there's no way. No way. You got a cat that basically quit his team like Scottie Pippen did during the game, and you're going to award him by putting an Olympic team? Let's get real. I mean, it's obvious. So yes, if that's your opinion, that's all you got sometimes. Own it, bro.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree that, I didn't think that they wanted an all-black Olympic team over there. I truly believe that. And Kevin Love was a guy that was available, and they put him on there. Kevin Love doesn't deserve to be on that team. He does not deserve to be on that team. There are a number of players you can put ahead of Kevin Love and have a good team over there. Next story, it seems like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or so, there's another story about a lawsuit about a doctor or a coach sexually assaulting players. I thought this one was, this shocked me. I'm gonna go to Ice first because he is from Ohio State, and you probably have some insight on this story about this doctor sexually abusing, I think Dr. Richard Strauss, who died a few years ago, sexually abusing some of the players there or athletes there at Ohio State. And there's a new lawsuit coming up with that. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's a continuation of what had already happened. Now I think you have more people joining with a second lawsuit. I think there are like 29 new cases or new lawsuits. It's amazing. Maybe after a while they felt like, and I'm not trying to connect this with you, Me Too as well, but they must have felt comfortable and they came back and they went after the situation in the lawsuit. What I find bizarre to me, and I'm not one to ever criticize anybody that's been a victim of abuse, but and they're saying one of the athletes mentioned, I'm not sure if he's a football player or whatever, is that this man, like during physicals or whatever, like assaulted him like 10 times.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even comprehend that shit for real. And I'm not one to say what I would have done, but I don't think I'm gonna let no one do 10 times. But that's just me. I wasn't in the position. But to hear that 10 times, you're an athlete, you're like one of the you played for one of the top athletic universities in the country, and a doctor 10 times, you're not like a little boy. But that's just my own personal thing. But I don't know. I don't understand it. But maybe the person didn't say anything because they were afraid about their scholarship or whatever, something to that degree. But it's just, I think it's opening the door and it's unraveled some things that we've known about, a lot of stuff that we didn't want to admit, that doctors, even some priests, some clergy, other people, and now to the damn Boy Scouts. I mean, to the point, allegedly, have done some stuff, and the people that we so-called have trusted over the years have come out to be bad people, taking advantage of the kids and even young adults. So it's sad but true. I think it's just what it is. Hopefully the people will get their money, and you never can take away the hurt and the pain they went through, but yeah, financially, at least they can be compensated.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things, Black, that one of the players that was interviewed talked about, and this was kind of rampant in the program, is that this doctor sanctioned whether you played or not. He gave the okay whether you played or not, whether you were eligible or not. And he held that control over these players in order to do what he did. Your thoughts on this, sir?
I'm going to take a little different approach. You know, that's what I do sometimes, being Black. But I want to look at young men in general in this country and how they're taken advantage of, how they're vulnerable. At 18 years old, they'll stick a freaking gun in your hand, send you to a foreign country and have you die, no matter what color you are, for this country. At 18, 19 years old, they'll bring you to a college and utilize your talents, your God-given talents, and sexually assault you and look the other way. That's what America is doing, bro. Whether we want to honor it and understand it, it's exactly what's going on. America is taking advantage of vulnerable youth, men and women on college campuses. And the people that are there that should be saying something are turning a blind eye to it. It's despicable. Despicable. I know I said the guy went there 10 times, bro. You gotta, and I'm not saying this because you're responsible, what you're, trying to go back what you said, but an 18, 19-year-old man that's been basically, some of these kids that went to Ohio State, they wore little 90s t-shirts when they were 4 or 5 years old, knowing they want to go to Ohio State. So you get there, you don't want to leave the campus. You're going to do what you think you should do just to maintain being there. And that's what's going on in these kids' head. They can't think that long or that far in advance. And these universities are taking advantage of it, bro. They're raping them in so many ways. They rape them financially. Now they're raping them physically. So it's not surprising to see it keeps happening over and over and over again. I mean, realistically, a lot of these doctors have a bullet put in their head. Simple as that. Forget court, forget trial, forget the rest of it. A bullet in their head is not even good enough because they're taking these vulnerable, young, innocent bodies and men and screwing up for the rest of their lives. A court case you got to go through? You got to be kidding me. You got to put them through a case now where they got to get on the stand and talk about how humiliated they was as men. I'm sorry, bro. I can't be nice about this. I just can't. I don't care if it's Ohio State, Duke, whatever. Sex, rape is wrong. And these young men are standing there getting it done to them. I still understand. They're being taken advantage of in more ways than none. I don't, this is America, realistically. It's America. It's what we got. You have got ministers taking advantage of young Black men. It's what happens. They're vulnerable, they're innocent, they don't know any better. So I can't go at them and go, well, I would have done this differently. No, I know what I would have done. I'm not afraid to say what I've done. I'd have killed your ass. Be honest with you. It would have been that simple. I'd have been in jail. But they're trying to get somewhere. All their lives, they've been trying to get somewhere. And they see Ohio State being what they could use to get there. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. It's the sad thing about it is that we're probably in 2 weeks going to come up with another story at another university with another coach, a doctor, or authority figure where the university turned their back on these student athletes.
Let me say this real quick. If you're a pedophile, what's a better job than having that, bro? Mm-hmm. Think about that. You got young men and young women, if you're a pedophile, walking in your office naked. For a pedophile, that's like going to heaven. Seriously. And I mean, even at Penn State, they heard the guy having sex with these kids and they turned a deaf ear. Come on, I'm sorry. Hey, it should be done better. It should be done better. But guess what? Come spring, come fall, they'll roll the football out. Who's talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, it's your first question, man.
Yeah. My first question is, we talked about it before, but do you really honestly believe Becky Hammond gonna get a fair shake in the NBA anytime soon?
Black?
I think so. I do. I think it's coming. I mean, she hasn't been really applying for a job in a while. I don't buy that. I think that smear tactic was something, again, I think because you have a lot of women organizations and people learning, if you weren't serious about her, why'd you bring her back in for a second interview? So to say that to me is a smear tactic. I think she's close. I'll go with Gasol said. I read what Gasol that worked under and said, look, he said he's been coached by Phil Jackson. He's been coached by Popovich. He's been coached by other coaches. She can coach. She ain't got to love you. She ain't got to be your best friend. The woman can coach. There's going to be some team that's going to take an option on it and go. I think Portland was ready, but here again, they were afraid to lose Lillard. If they lose Damian Lillard, you know how far they're going to set that franchise back? So, yes, if they went to him and he said, I want him. And I'm not knocking Damian. I'm just not knocking. I'm not saying he didn't want her because she's a woman. But if he said, I want Chauncey Billups, guess what? Damian Lillard represents money for them. They can care less about a championship, bro. If you look at those seats, Damian Lillard's name is on every one of those seats. Have him walk away. See how much money walks away with him. See how much money. There's hope with Damian Lillard. If he leaves, there is none. So if we got to suck up to a potential sex offender, guess what? He's my boy. He's my boy, bro. Business. It's business, man, whether we like it or not. It's business. But yes, she will get a job at some point. It's just a matter of time, bro. And what I find interesting, even with the basis of that question, how many times as Black people we said when we're not going to get a job? What's going to be happening? Some of the same things that's happened to us years ago, bro. Some of the same things. But at some point, she's going to break through. And when she does, Stanley is right behind her. More women coaches are right behind her. It's just a matter of time.
I certainly hope so, man. I really do. I want to have a positive attitude towards this because I think if a team really wants to win, they'll hire the best possible coach. I think she's one of the best in the league right now. It's just going to take an owner that's going to be more progressive and believe in her and believe in the decision that I can hand over the keys to my organization to this coach, and she'll be able to take us to a championship or take us close to a championship. But yeah, I thought that maybe I don't want her to settle for like jobs that are not really kind of going to be good for her with teams that don't really have talent, and you're going to have to start from the ground up. But that's maybe what she needs to do to prove herself. But I'm hoping. I'm not feeling too optimistic about it today after hearing all the coaching moves and hires, but I'm hopeful. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would be a great thing for the league, but I'm not hopeful, bro. I got to see it first. I mean, you talk about us. I mean, you think about it, that was basically three men of color that have been hired so far. And maybe that's a breakdown of the whole thing about the movement that we're in right now for the nation. But when you have business and you have money involved and then something on such a high level when it comes to like NBA basketball, some of these owners, they talk a good game, but about them delivering and giving her a chance, I think it's going to be difficult. It has been for a while. Not saying she can't coach, but it's going to be hard. Like you said, it was mentioned that Portland's owner said, yeah. But then again, it was like, nah, you do bring her in, your best players, like, I'm out of here. So it's a lot of other factors that are involved in it, intangibles. So she got to keep pushing through. And Puma, unfortunately, I think the problem is going to be she's going to have to take a team maybe like an Orlando Magic. She's going to have to go to a team that may be not that good and going to have to prove herself.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of things up against her and any woman that would come into that point now, and she's going to have a uphill battle. But if she's the coach that she says she is and who we think she is, she has the skill set to move forward, she's going to be able to rise up. But again, it comes down to her having the opportunity. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm kind of like the NFL, bro. Certain things that I believe when I see it, bro. You just go, oh, yeah. We kind of optimistic. Then you go, yeah, they go again. Then they say, they are who we think they are.
I kind of think when you guys mentioned about the owner in Portland, when Black mentioned that earlier, and then the GM making the move, something kind of inside of me said, you know, the good cop, bad cop kind of scenario. Like, yeah, I wanted you, but so-and-so, you know, they run that. So I got to let that go to kind of save face. In a way, I think that's what happened. Black, your question.
Yeah, I see that in an extent because if you hire somebody, you got to trust them to do the job. But I think that I think if one owner wants her, there'll be another owner coming. I can't think of the football player's name for some reason. I had it in my head. But it's a running back that played for the Steelers, went to the Jets, to Kansas City, and he's basically shooting himself in the foot talking about Andy Reid.
Le'Veon Bell.
Bell, yes. I want to get you guys' opinion on Le'Veon Bell. I just want to get your opinion on it.
Ice.
And look, you know, if it, you know, you want to give a person the benefit of the doubt. And when he left Pittsburgh, you like, oh, maybe they just tripping, maybe they didn't know what to do with him. Then he goes to the Jets. The Jets like, we suck. We give you all the money in the world. Still didn't work out there. Oh, they're treating me bad. Then you go to a contender, okay? Team that won the Super Bowl, and I think you did get a ring, but or close to it, but you're right there, a contender. And you still talking about the man, the coach that has led that team to the first NFL championship since what, 67 or something like that or whatever. And no matter what you do or where you go, it's like, it's you, bro. You've been 3 places. And you talk about, hey, you know, I don't want to do this and I'll never play for him again. I'm like, you do realize other teams are watching what you're saying, right? So it's a pattern. You know, well, I'm not a drunk, but you drinking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You take 2 days you don't drink because you in jail 2 days. So that's when you're not drunk. if it is what it is, I mean, come on, dude. It's to that point where they're watching you and now it's always somebody else's fault. Who do you think is going to take you on? I mean, you can say this. A lot of people saying the same thing about Leonard Fournette, but Fournette realized that I hated getting cut and I didn't like it, but Devin, I need to be quiet because I want to play again. And he went down to Tampa and he wasn't the greatest player, but he was serviceable and they signed him again. But you can't just keep blaming everybody, man, especially when people are giving you major money. The Jets went out of their way because they thought you could do something special for them. And then they sucked, and then you blamed on them again. Then you get picked up by Kansas City. How can you be mad about that? I don't care if you're not playing. Dude, you just along for the ride. You at least know you're going to the second round of the playoffs. You ain't got to do nothing. You can wash your car, sit back, do whatever, get worked out, get massages and everything, you know, get them earthly face masks and whatever the hell you do. I mean, you know, you can do whatever. And you complaining? Just ride it, bro. You get a playoff bonus, and you complaining, talking about Andy Reid. So where you gonna go next? Nobody else wants you. I don't know. That I was blown away, man. Again, that is a barbershop. That's a herbal tea or a marijuana dispensary conversation. You ain't got to tell
get your feet worked on.
Just get your toes, you get your feet worked on, your nails, you know, whatever, getting the oil change. You ain't got to say that shit at the career, nowhere else, bro. Say it at the house. Don't mess your money up, bro. What is wrong with y'all? Don't quit messing your money up, brothers.
Hey, man, sometimes that weed hit people different, man, and they just turn into some strange creatures, man, because you're right, Isaac. I have nothing really to add. Sometimes you just got to realize it's you. It's not everybody else. It's you. And you had a chance at Pittsburgh. You messed that up because of the weed. The Jets, you were hurt most of the time, so you weren't really kind of helping them out. And you get to Kansas City, and they have a powerhouse team. They have offensive weapons. And so you didn't show out there. You didn't prove yourself. You got on a team that's going to be in the thick of things for a number of years with a hell of a quarterback who is making what, $500 million. So they paying him that much. They believe in him. They're giving him the keys. But I don't know where you go next after this. So sometimes, you know, you got to put the weed down and really kind of just take accountability and say, you know what, I'm the problem at this particular point. Because I remember, Black, we were talking about this a few years ago where a couple of years ago, it's like, man, if he leaves Pittsburgh, maybe he'll go back. I mean, go back to Pittsburgh at some particular point or get a chance to go back. But I think that door is closed. I think a lot of doors are closing for him. And I think that people are kind of sensing that this guy is not really worth the money or time to kind of really kind of just sit down and put it on your team. Your thoughts?
Le'Veon Bell, that year, whether he wants to own up to it or not, that year he sat out and basically killed his career. He was given a gift from the Jets, basically. The Jets decided to take a chance on him, and he had nothing to deliver. Now, you're blessed enough to have the Kansas City Chiefs say, hey, come here. Come on, we'll bring you in. We'll give you a chance to basically run up. No, he's thinking he just came into the league and they're going to run him 30 times. No, that's not what they plan on doing, bro. I don't know if they told you that, but I think that was in your head. So that's why you're pissed. And like you said, you're on a team that's going to probably be in the hunt for the next 5 years. And you come out and talk about Andy Reid, bro. That's like talking about the minister of the NFL right now. Andy Reid, everybody loves Andy Reid, bro. Coaches that probably can't beat him, and one thing about the NFL, it seems like it's a big league, but at the same time, it's a small league. If you outed one coach, and that coach is Andy Reid, what other coach is going to basically give you his hand and shake your hand? Name me that coach name, bro. Especially at this point in your career. Now, if you were like maybe 23, 24, and you were balling, even Hunt, and I thought personally that they released Hunt a little too early. I thought Kansas City should have said to Hunt, you know what? We're going to suspend you. Well, guess what? We'll see you next year. We saw what you did. We're going to suspend you. No, Andy Reid was like, bang, bang, bang. Hunt ain't open his damn mouth. Hunt was like, you know what? I made a mistake. I was wrong. And look what you're doing now. They didn't give you your what you thought should have been your touches. You're going to come out and say, I'd rather be tired than play with him. Bro, that's what you're going to basically do. You are going to be tired. You are. Whether you realize it or not, you basically put the nail in your coffin. I believe, I could be wrong. I don't see a team that's a coach, general manager is going to open the door because what they're going to feel like if they even thought your talent could help them, that they're offending Andy Reid. And they're not going to do it, bro. You don't realize these coaches get together, they talk each week, they do all this stuff. It's a small community. And they got the book on you. They had the book on you in Pittsburgh, but for some reason they thought you had talent and they tried to help. This is the same man that opened the door when no one else opened the door to Michael Vick. Andy Reid, bro. The same man. You found something wrong with him because simply not what he said to you, not what he's done to you. He didn't give you the ball more than a few times. Like I said, look in the mirror, bro. It's not them. It's you. And that's not to forget when you were playing against the Jets. You took your family on a bowling excursion and missed practice and everything. You don't think the league forgot that? Good luck. Good luck, Bell. Good luck, bro. Good luck.
Michigan State grad. All right, last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, just wanted to say how quickly the tables turn. NCAA just approved interim name, image, and likeness policy, removing restrictions for college athletes to earn money. That's going to take place starting Thursday. Today is Wednesday night, Thursday, July 1st in 12 states. Man, that was fast. NCAA going to hold on for dear life. They're trying to find a way to stay in the game. All of a sudden, now you can make money in 12 states. Woo, that was quick. We just want to be a part of the game. What can we do to be a part of your game? Y'all better watch very closely. Things about to change real quick. And I told y'all, some of y'all going to be mad because it ain't going to be what you, athletes, I'm telling you now, it's not going to be what you think it is. This ain't for everybody. It's not fair. Just tell me. Be careful.
Great shot. Black?
I don't know if you all listening lately what's coming out of Jacksonville. Urban Meyer is saying that Tebow may not make the team. No! You might not make the team? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. What would the NFL do if Tebow doesn't make the team? So I'm just saying. Urban Meyer, brother, sometimes I think you're a magician, bro. Sometimes I think you just pull rabbits out of the hat But guess what? The real season's coming, my brother, and the league is waiting on you. Do me a favor. Don't cut Tebow. Put him out there the first week as tight end. Do us all a favor because we want to see what you saw the first 2 weeks in training camp. Please expose us to that. That's all we want. Then cut him week 3, 4, whatever. But put him out there as tight end and let him play. You owe us that, Urban. Come on, you owe us that before you run away with another sickness.
Oh, man. My last second shot is about soccer. I hope everybody is enjoying the Euros and the Copa soccer championships. I've been thoroughly enjoying them. For the first time in almost since I was born in 50 years, England beats Germany. That's something big. And the Ukraine in their victory over France, it was incredible to see that. But if you're not checking out the Euros, if you're not a soccer fan, these are the games that you want to see in the semifinals with some great teams that are playing really hard, and the Copa with South America. That's our show. Stick around for overtime to see us cut up a little bit in the show and talk about some issues. I'm still trying to figure out how Kevin Love got into the dominant player argument. But anyway, we will see you next week. Peace.
I mean, it was interesting. I was listening to Chris Broussard the other day, and he was talking, and he said how I totally kind of forgot about this, but he jogged my memory. And he said Trey got hurt. Now, ironically, Grant Hill is part ownership of Atlanta Hawks.
Right.
And he said that's the same injury that basically ruined Grant Hill's career. Grant Hill, sprained his ankle, decided to come back in and play, try to play. It never got right, and look where he is now. And Grant Hill was a monster in the court, bro.
Yeah, Grant Hill was the dude.
Yeah.
He was the dude until he started getting injuries. They were saying, I remember reading one comment that said Grant Hill was LeBron before LeBron. I can't see that the weight. LeBron's kind of more muscular and more forceful. But as far as dominating games?
Well, to me, I don't know. I'll say this. LeBron didn't start dominating games until he got to Miami. Until he worked with Hakeem, in my opinion.
Well, he was doing his business in Cleveland.
Dominating games, though.
Yeah, in Cleveland. Because he single-handedly took Cleveland to a finals with, if you look at that roster.
But go back and look at the teams he played against in the East.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I don't see his domination. I'm not saying he wasn't a good player, but dominant, he became a dominant player. Shaq was a dominant player from day one. Grant Hill from day one. LeBron grew into it. Plus, I think Grant Hill, even from the moment he stepped in the court, was more refined.
Yeah.
Than LeBron. So, no. So I just think, Grant Hill was just Grant Hill. He had defense, he had offense. LeBron, what Grant had his short period of time, LeBron had to develop into go past. But Grant came out of Duke with it, bro. He stepped into the NBA with it. It wasn't like, okay, I'll develop this in 4 or 5 years, and it was there.
I'm good. I'm just trying to figure out when he said LeBron wasn't dominant in Cleveland. 18 years old. You play 18 years old playing with a bunch of grown men. Wasn't nothing else there.
So he dominated the Spurs when they played the Spurs.
I'm just saying he may not.
I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying. He may not have been on the level of Grant Hill, whatever. But when you take an 18-year-old kid and you throw him to the Wolves, and they like, oh, I get to watch. I get to be Jermaine O'Neal and watch for 3 years. Then I get to blow up and go to Indianapolis. When you hit the ground running in Cleveland, they had nothing else.
Yeah, they didn't have anything.
Did he dominate his first 3 years? I'm not talking about Cleveland.
He put Cleveland on the map.
No, I'm not talking about Cleveland, bro. Anybody could put Cleveland on the map back then. What? Was he dominate? I'm just asking you a question. You say dominate. Did he dominate the first 4 years in the league in Cleveland? Not Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland to the playoffs all those.
You're not answering the question. The question, did he dominate in the league?
Yeah, he was one of the top players in the league.
Right. But I mean,
okay.
Let me ask you a question then. Let me ask that question though. Was Grant Hill dominant in the NBA when he first came in? Dominant.
No, Grant. I just said Grant Hill came in and was a strong player from day one and dominated. LeBron. Wait, hang on a second. When Grant Hill came in, the attention wasn't on Grant Hill. He still was dominating. The lights were always on LeBron, so he did well in Cleveland. It magnified. So you're telling me he dominated to the point where he was one of the best 3 players in the league when he was 18, 19, 20 years old.
You changed the game up though. So let me finish. I listen to you. Let me finish.
Yep.
You changed the game up. When you say dominant, you went to dominant means the top 3 players in the league. There's no way hell I would ever say that.
Who said he was the top player in the league?
You said top 3.
No, you said top 3. I didn't say top 3. I said you go top 10.
You can be.
You said one of the top players in the league when he first came in.
I didn't say top 3. I said if you had a top 10 list, LeBron would have been there.
Because to me, if you get to 10, that ain't even top, bro. Give me a number. What do you say top? What's top?
Then explain the number before you start seeing what he is.
Well, you say top to me. I'm thinking 5-1. No, I'm not thinking anything below 5.
I'm thinking top 10. You got 32 teams, top 10 players in the league.
Then we're not even on the same page. Then our argument it's not even an argument because I would never say he's dominant top 3. I will say this though, he was dominant to the fact of what he meant to Cleveland to the point where when they did play Orlando in the playoffs, when they played Orlando, that they triple teamed him because there was nobody else there. All I'm saying is you taking an 18-year-old kid. You put him out there, you say anybody can do that. No, anybody cannot take them the way that he took them as far as he did. Not at 18. No.
But I said anyone could have came into Cleveland at that time. Cleveland had nothing.
Right, but let me ask you the question. This is the difference between the domination or even at least being a good player. Not anybody could just come in and lead Cleveland.
You're taking dominant to mean that LeBron wasn't good. But did he dominate his first 3 years in the league?
Did Grant Hill?
I'm asking about him.
He did not. But when you say you said, let me ask you this though. You said top 3. When Grant came into the league.
No, I didn't say Grant was in the top 3. I said when he said LeBron was one of the top players in the league, I said to me, anytime somebody says top, either you top 3 or you're top 5. If you're down by 10, you're not in the top as far as I'm concerned. So when he said top, I responded to top. I'm saying it took LeBron a while to dominate in the league. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And Grant Hill dominated sooner in the league than LeBron. Okay. He did.
You said right away, though. That's what my question was.
He did, in my opinion. He did.
Grant Hill That's your opinion. I don't agree with that.
You don't have to. Grant Hill came into the league
cool.
dominating his role. He was. When he came to the league, he had 4 years at Duke. He came in more sharp and refined than LeBron. I'm not knocking LeBron. Like you said, LeBron was an 18-year-old kid when he came in. It took him a while to get his game underneath him. Now, did he move Cleveland as he grew? Yes. But he grew into his dominance. Grant Hill came in and started out with his dominance. That's the difference. All LeBron had when he came to the game was penetration. He had no jump shot.
I'll just say
he came in. He played hockey with a lot of players. He bowled players over. He got many calls.
I'll say this. We're going to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay. When he went down to Miami, let me just get a question. He went down to Miami the first year when they played in the playoffs. Did he dominate and win the series and win the championship?
No, he did not. No.
Then what are we talking about?
What we're talking about is you saying Grant Hill was dominant. You said
if LeBron was that dominant, why didn't he put that? Because listen to you too. He put Cleveland up on the map. He did all this. When he got to Miami, he chumped off to San Antonio. He chumped off to that. Where's his dominance?
So when LeBron, I'm going to go to the stats. So LeBron came in the league. He averaged 20.9 his first year, 27.2 second year.
Let me ask you a question. How many points did Kevin Love? How many points did Kevin Love offer in Minnesota?
Let me finish. 31.4 in his third year, 27.3. Still at Cleveland, 30 the next year, 28, 29. Yeah, so let me go to Grant Hill. Grant Hill, first year in the league, 19.9, 20.2 second, 21. Next year, 21 the following year, 21, 25, 13, 16, 14.
He played all those years?
That was in Detroit and Orlando.
Let me ask you, by the time we got to Orlando's game is going now. Let me ask you this question though. Go back, since you want to go back and pull the computer up, Go back and pull up Kevin Love's when he was in Minnesota. What did he do the first 4 or 5 years of career?
But to me,
let's get there. Let's go with that. Let's go.
Look it up. But to me, that's not a comparison. Because
I'm not comparing. But the point I'm going to make is this: I'm not impressed when you play on a bad team and you got all those numbers because there's nobody other but you.
Let's look at Kevin Love numbers. Let's look at Kevin Love.
Yes.
Kevin Love, 11 points his first year, 14 points second year, 20 points third year, 26 points fourth year. Then went down to 18. Then
18. What team was he on?
Minnesota.
Okay.
Then 26 is last year Minnesota. Then went to Cleveland. 16, 16, 19, 17, 17, 17, 12.
To me, if you're on a bad team, you're gonna get those points, bro. I'm just saying it took him a while to dominate. He did not come a league and dominate. It's just the way I see it.
And that's fine. You are right to your opinion. And I'm gonna say to the point when you brought up Kevin Love, that really opened the door for me because Kevin Love never led Minnesota to the damn playoffs, even though he was on the bad teams. LeBron did.
When Cleveland went that year to playoff, who was in the East? What other? Name me a dominant. No, don't switch back. Name me a dominant team in the East.
I can't. I mean, I don't have it right in front of me, but
Boston that was rolling.
Boston was a dominant at that point. He lost to Boston when they were dominant, if you remember correctly.
Wow,
I'm just saying. Name me another. Okay, if you want to count, name me another team.
You went from Kevin Love.
No. Name me another team. We're past Kevin Love. Name me another team that's dominant.
Now we're past Kevin Love. I can't get nothing in. It don't matter. Let's start the show, man. We'll come back with this stuff next week. I can't get nothing. It's all about you and Big Daddy over there. It's good. It's good. I can't get nothing. We went from Kevin Love here. Now we ain't past.
If we talk about Ohio, you get warmed up, bro.
No, it's not that.
Yes.
When you're making crazy statements about
crazy statements. LeBron came in. Y'all act like LeBron came in and set the league on fire. He has always had the cameras on him.
You act like Grant Hill did. The man just told you the stats.
Who was a better player?
Well,
early on in their career, who was the better player?
According to the stats, LeBron.
Let's not go by the stats. Let's go to our eyes. Who's a better player? Really? If you got one guy.
I'll say this. Grant Hill was more refined as a player. He had all the skills coming in. Even though LeBron wasn't more refined, he still averaged more points than Grant Hill in his career.
Because he bullied people into the basket. Of course he should have more points than that, bro.
And he took his team to the playoffs.
You know what? How many
times he took his team to the playoffs?
I mean, ever since he got there to Cleveland, he was taking his team to the playoffs.
Before he left Cleveland, how many times did he go to the playoffs? I'm just curious. I'm trying to remember.
Just about every year in Cleveland, he went to the playoffs.
And he went to the finals, too. You forgot. You remember that one, though, don't you?
One time. I remember in Cleveland. Right? I'm just asking.
Yeah, LeBron and the Miracles.
Okay.
Hell yeah. What? That must be a hell of a drink you on. I ain't mad at you.
I'm just saying. It's amazing how LeBron scored 31 points with no team around and got to the finals. I'm just thinking that. But when he got to the finals, what happened? I'm trying to remember what happened when he got to the finals.
Yeah, they got beat.
He got beat, but what help? What kind of help?
He got beat down. How about beat down? But go ahead. That's it.
What kind of help did he have? And then Kevin.
When he get his ass kicked, he ain't got no help. But when he get there, he's the whole team till he got there. Is what I'm saying.
So I'm gonna throw this at since you were going that route. How about your favorite two-time MVP, Giannis? What's going on with this going there? And he got all the help in the world. Come on, man.
The man just hurt his knee, bro. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about. We're not talking about even right now. We're talking about over the career. Anyway, you all won tonight. That's cool. Let's move on with the show, bro. But I will come back with the Cleveland Madness since you on in the alcohol thing tonight. We good with that.
Nothing to do with the alcohol, baby. There's nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
The question was asked who dominated more in the NBA.
You said it was Grant Hill.
All I said was it took LeBron a chance. LeBron had grown to his dominance. Grant Hill stepped the court and started dominating. Okay. Now, if you want to say LeBron scored more points, that don't mean he dominated. Like he played in a team we had to score the points to get where he had to go. Grant was more of a team player. He wasn't a hog as LeBron. And that's just my point. But the question was, the initial question, who was more of a dominant player? And early on, Grant Hill was it. You even said yourself, he was a more refined player. It took LeBron a while to get to more refined. It took him a while. He didn't come in that way. Grant Hill was 18, but Grant Hill walked to the NBA and kicked the doors open.
So you said my last question on this though. Are you gonna tell me that Grant Hill was the top 3 player winning game in the NBA?
That's not what I'm not saying that. LeBron wasn't either.
When you said, let me ask you, let me clarify when you said what dominant was. When you said you made the term dominant. So when you said Grant Hill was dominant, what does that mean when you said Grant Hill was dominant coming into the league?
At his position, he was one of the strongest players. I'm not ranking him at his position for his first 3 years in the league. LeBron came, I'm not saying he didn't play well in his position, but there was other players beside LeBron when he came in at that position playing just as well. More refined. There goes your dominance. It took him a while to get his feet under him. Everybody acted like he walked into the game, just automatically became this great player. He called himself the king, but he grew to become the king. Grant Hill came in, whether you want to believe it or not, those extra years he had in college helped refine his game. He understood the game more. That's the point.
Well, and I understand the point. So we'll move on, Puma, because at first it was about the numbers. Then we went to something else, and that's okay though.
The numbers started when Puma said LeBron was one of the top players in the NBA.
And then
that's when the numbers
top
came
3, top 5, and then it went from that to now.
Here again, I said this 4 or 5 times. Okay. If you say top to me, you ain't talking 10 and below.
Okay.
That's just not top. If I say name the top quarterback in the NFL, you ain't gonna tell me. You're not gonna give me Cousins, who's the top 10 player, and say he's top.
I'm good.
Cousins ain't the top 10 and top 10.
I'm good. You know what?
If you say top, he's down. He's close to 10.
I'm gonna say this.
Was he top 20?
Look. The one thing about this, the damn tape don't lie. So it's all good. That's one thing about this. So whoever watching this, they know, and that's all I'm good with.
Run the videotape. Was Michael Jordan the dominant player?
Michael Jordan basically, yes, I would say to an extent.
So
when he first came in, when he first came into the league, Michael Jordan basically was a dominant player when he first came in.
So it took him 7 to 8 years to get to the championship, right?
Yes. Yes.
So was Patrick Ewing a dominant player?
No.
You don't think so?
No, not necessarily.
Top 10?
Top 10 to what?
Top 10 player in the league?
When he was playing there?
When he was playing with the Knicks.
Or later, a little lower, maybe. A little lower. See, I'm not doing that because I'm not a Knicks hater. That's
okay, I know.
About that.
It made me laugh because I had to think about it too.
Like, to me, Pat, in my opinion, Pat was never a dominant center in the league.
Okay.
Now, was he a good center? I'll give him that. Dominant? No.
Okay.
He just wasn't. He wasn't a dominant center. I mean, if you look at the shot that Michael Jordan made against Elo back in Cleveland years ago, was he a dominant player back then?
I think so.
He stepped up and knocked the shot down? So give me a game of LeBron in that, in his first 3 years where you can give me the same thing. LeBron ran from taking those shots his first 5 years in the league, 3 to 5 years in the league. He ran from it. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he wasn't a good player.
The shot against Elo.
It took him a while to grow into his dominance. It took him a while.
The shot against Elo with Jordan was after his 7 years. First 7 years. It was. Yeah.
I don't know if that was 7.
Ron Harper was on the squad.
I don't know if that was 7 though. Because they didn't win the championship that year. Then they go on to get beat by Boston.
Not sure.
No, they won that year with Brad Sellers. A good friend, Brad Sellers, was on that squad. They won the title that year.
I don't remember that. I could be wrong. I don't remember that.
Brad Sellers was on the team.
Okay.
He threw the ball on the inbound. Brad Sellers threw the ball on the play.
I remember that.
Elo.
Ron Harper was on that team too.
Yes. He was on Ron Harper was on the Cleveland team.
Yeah, Mark Price.
I don't remember them winning that year, though. Okay. I remember going on to play Boston or Detroit after that. But I don't remember going on to win it that year.
Okay. Well, we'll look that up. The thing about it is we're going to have time between the next, whenever that is, or whatever. Maybe you'll give us some time to talk about this on Black Men Talk. Once he check out them stats, we won't be back the next
Sometimes year. My eyes are better than stats.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So last week, man, there were some great fights. Lomachenko has got his groove back. You had one of the Charlo brothers in the mix, and Gervonta Davis, who looked like he was losing ice, but with some coaching from Floyd, got a TKO when he needed it to pull out that fight. Your thoughts about last week's fights, man?
Yeah, a lot of stuff is going on. I mean, you look at that from that standpoint. You mentioned about Charlo fighting, fighting at Jamal Charlo fighting at middleweight, very against a very game opponent. Kind of gave him some real serious rounds and really came in the fight. Jamal had to do what he had to do, and get the victory. And now he's trying to set himself up to fight some more entertaining fights. And a lot of people criticized Jamal Charlo because they thought he wasn't as dominant as normal, and they thought they saw some chinks in his armor. But he's like, man, the dude was a good fighter. What the hell you want me to do?
Right.
And when you continue to move up in the quality of opponents that you face, it's going to be rough. So it'll be interesting. You might see more people that would not dare come after Jamal Charlo now starting to show some interest because they may think they saw a weakness or so. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. You mentioned, too, about Lomachenko. Lomachenko came back. A lot of questions were up there about Vasily Lomachenko to see whether or not he was going to be ready. But he came back against a very good opponent in Nakatani. Nakatani was a tough gamer dude, but, I mean, Lomo showed you who he was. He came back showing real strength, looking like the old Lomo of the past, and stopped Nakatani in the ninth round TKO. Very impressed with him. Then everybody's just asking what's the next step for Lomo. Of course, he wants that Teofimo Lopez rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Lopez was supposed to fight in August, but I think his fight was postponed because he had COVID. So he's supposed to fight real soon or earlier. But now they're saying that they're looking at it, and his dad mentioned this, Lopez's dad, that maybe they're not going to take this fight. And now they're going to fight Lomachenko in a rematch. Needs more money. So that's the scuttlebutt right now, because before they was telling Lomachenko, no, we're not interested in a rematch. But I think the point is a lot of people after the Lomachenko performance are saying, hey, we want to see that fight again.
And if I'm not mistaken, Lomachenko had a hurt shoulder during that fight, or recovering from a hurt shoulder in that fight. And that's why he couldn't kind of let those punches go. And then, if I'm not mistaken, also Lomachenko, when he did lose a fight, he went to go avenge that fight he lost. So maybe that's what he's thinking now, that I got my game right and I want to rematch and I want to recapture where I was before that Lopez fight.
No doubt, but I'm not going to roll with it. I'm not going to let him get away with that shoulder thing, because that's the same thing Manny Pacquiao said when he fought Mayweather. True. It don't matter what day that was on, you weren't going to beat Mayweather. All I'm saying with Lomachenko, also, too, it was, I think we knew that supposedly Lopez had issues with his hand in the fight, so he was dealing with injuries, too. Two guys in the ring. If that was the case, we don't really need to hear the excuse. You get another opportunity for the rematch. Let's just get it done. I think that will say it all. You lost, but now be a man about it and come on and move forward in the rematch. Rematch would be dynamite. I would love to see it as well. The other fight, too, we mentioned before was Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis versus Barrios. And I talked about it earlier with some other folks, and I think, in my just opinion, that Gervonta Davis might have lost the first 4 or 5 rounds of that fight.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, Barrios was really moving forward. He's a really tall guy, moving up. Davis moving up to 140 to fight, and that was a first for him. Bigger guy, probably about 5 inches taller, bigger guy, and it took him a while to get to him. And have to admit, the Floyd Mayweather presence in the corner was a little bit bizarre, but they are very close. And the one thing I mentioned to some other folks too is that when Floyd Mayweather, when he comes back to the corner, says, on the unofficial scorecards, you losing this fight. He told him that. You losing this fight. You better come on. And he was like, I'm losing the fight, and this whole corner was discombobulated. Like, what the fuck are you saying? They didn't know what to say. He said, you told me you want me to be real with you. That's what you got me here for. And Tank turned it up. After that, Gervonta Davis turned it around and came out and went for the body and scored that eventual, was a 11-round TKO.
Yeah.
But the question you have to ask yourself is, him starting slow like that, and almost as if they're trying to do the strategy like Floyd Mayweather used to do back in the day. And they were in the 6th round, and his corner told him, he said, look, let's turn it on now. And I'm like, y'all been taking a page out of Floyd's book? Because Floyd's uncle, the late Roger Mayweather, used to do constantly, and dad as well, used to always constantly say, we're going to go through the first few rounds to see how things work out. Then we get to about the fifth or sixth, we're going to turn our plan on them because now we see what they're not doing. And,
Okay.
and I thought that was very similar to what Tank did. But my point is, Tank has to be a faster starter because if he starts to fight somebody else that's a lot better,
yeah,
or more skilled, you may not be able to turn it on at the last minute. And unfortunately for him, in this fight, and even when the fight, when he fought when he fought some other folks too, that he's getting touched. It's not like he's just going through; he's getting tagged. And then you try to come at the end and be stronger, and then you start making mistakes, and then at that point you're going to have to pay.
Yeah,
you're going to have to pay, and I think that's what that comes down to. I know too that we had another good fight that was on the undercard.
Lubin, right?
Yeah, Lubin, Erickson Lubin with Jason Rosario. As far as the junior middleweight, Lubin came out. Rosario had just lost to Jermell Charlo previously. And then he had also, before that, beat Julian Williams, two top-notch guys in the junior middleweight division. And and we also know the story that Jermell Charlo literally knocked out Erickson Lubin early, knocked him out, one of the most vicious KOs you'll ever see in boxing. So we're trying to see whether or not he can come back. And Rosario wasted no time coming towards him, moving forward. And Lubin changed trainers, has been working on some things last couple fights, and literally just took advantage of Rosario coming forward and hit him a couple of times, backed him up, and hit him with a body shot, a couple body shots that put him down. And Erickson Lubin is, since his first time getting knocked out by Charlo, is looking real well in his last few fights.
I still don't trust him though. It's like after he got knocked out, it seemed like you can touch him on the chin and he can get rocked and kind of lose it. And that's what I saw last time, because I remember texting you saying, okay, the guy I guess had on his trunks about something about Jesus. And I'm like, oh man, he better call Jesus now because Lubin is really kind of getting to him. And you text me back, not so fast, because Rosario came back and touched up Lubin. It seemed like he was a guy that I was looking at with Earl Spence and seeing those two guys. But now I don't know about him as far as that chin. Am I off by saying, he has a suspect chin?
Well, I mean, you can only go off of what you see, and when you saw him against Charlo, you saw what you saw.
Yeah.
So you're gonna always, in the back of your mind, I think, have that thought. But he's progressing. But I think his new trainer, his last name Cunningham, is for Lubin. And you notice when he came back to the corner, Cunningham is no nonsense. Cunningham said, man, what the fuck are you doing? What you doing?
Yeah.
You don't need to trade with this dude. You don't need to, we boxing. We're going to win this fight. Keep going to the body. And it paid off for him. But he was like, don't play. If you could stick with the plan. If you stick with the plan, we're going to win. But yeah, he jumped all over him like, what the man, what you doing? And he's like, okay. And I think he shows that he really has somebody in his corner that has his best interest at heart, but also knows what the hell they're doing.
So upcoming fights, man, that we need to check out.
Yeah, we got a few of things that are coming up. Of course, if we get to it, there's some issues now they're saying in the court that may be trying to hold up Pacquiao versus Spence. You got Paradigm, this company that Pacquiao's supposed to be affiliated with, trying to say they had something involved, but a lot of times people are saying that they're not going to let that get in the way. There's something that they want to see. So people want to see that fight. And then, of course, we have Deontay Wilder versus Fury. It's coming up a lot sooner than I thought. It's coming up in July as well. Because Anthony Joshua is now going to be fighting Usyk, another heavyweight, to try to keep himself in shape and ready for whoever the winner is. This is a very interesting fight to start with Wilder because we don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. He got rid of Mark Breland, kicked him to the curb, went out and picked up a former fighter that's a friend of his that he even knocked out during his career and teaching him how to box. And during the press conference, Wilder really didn't have a lot to say, but Fury was like, man, I'm going to kill this dude. And it's just weird because now you see he's the champion in Fury, that is, and now Wilder has to come back and prove himself. Just for nothing else, it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I want to see what's going to happen. That's why a lot of the hype is still around it, because there are just so many unknowns. Twice in the first fight, Wilder knocks down Fury twice and thought he had put him out. He jumps back up and he barely wins a decision. And then you get the second fight. Actually, was it the first one a draw or was it
First one was a draw.
The first one was a draw, right? It was a draw. Then the second one, Fury put on the extra weight and put on his armor and just came forward to Fury towards Wilder, and Wilder couldn't handle it. So the question is, he's supposed to be in a lot more better shape, supposed to be boxing a lot more, but can you stop the push that Fury is bringing to you? And
Fury said he's going to get up to 300 pounds and he's going to end the fight even quicker than the last fight.
Right, because he believes that he's stronger than him, and he showed what he did last. He basically overpowered him. And what he does is, with that power, or not so much the power, but with that girth, right? With his body, he just leans in on him. Mm-hmm. So the one thing about Deontay Wilder, if he can't swing and hit you, if you cover him up, then he walks away. It's kind of like the old Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope. They call it the peekaboo. When you come up in there, you hold on to him, and when you go back, you go, you just so you can basically constrict or restrict his ability to punch. And that's the biggest thing by keeping on the inside, because Wilder's coming from way out here like George Foreman, right, with that far right. And if you restrict him being able to do that, that's where Fury is going to be able to move forward on him. But I'm interested to see if Wilder's going to be more technical, because at the end of the day, Fury is very crafty, man.
He is.
He's a smart dude. He may talk a lot of crap, but when he's in that ring, that dude knows what he's doing. I think he's shown people that he's a lot better fighter technically than most people thought.
He's so unorthodox that you don't think he has any boxing skills, but he does. He does. He moves around really well, moves really well as a big man. And I can't take anything from him. The lineal champion.
Yeah, and he's proven. I mean, he's the only man to beat Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Only man. So, I mean, whoever wins this fight, I really want to see if Joshua survives against Usyk. I want to see the winner versus Joshua, because Joshua has been running around for years and the people are giving him a lot of hype. But now, when it's all out there, the question is he going to be able to step up and handle the business? I want to see whoever wins, either one of them, I want to see them immediately versus Joshua.
Thank you, sir. Boxing expert on the show, Ice Water.
Just trying to get it in, brother.
In the new promotion with the NFL, that the NFL is gay.
You said a player?
It's a promotion by the NFL. And they have a 30-second promotional video saying the NBA is gay.
NFL?
Yep.
What?
I haven't seen that, bro.
Yeah. So basically, they're jumping on the bandwagon of the LGBT community. And so they start off like the NFL. They'll have a blank screen. The NFL is gay. The NFL is lesbian. The NFL is this, that, the other. So they're really kind of trying to engage the alternative lifestyle community with this advertisement, especially when that player
came
out.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused. You saying the NFL is saying the NBA is gay?
No, the NFL is doing their self-promotion. I'll try to find it, because I saw it last night when I was going through on some of the stories on Yahoo, that they're doing an advertisement, a 30-second spot saying the NFL is gay. The NFL is doing this. And then they're kind of saying the NFL is lesbian, the NFL is transgender, the NFL is this, that, the other, trying to engage and kind of get in bed, so to speak, with the LGBT community.
Bro, as much as we may not like it, smart business move.
Yeah.
Smart business. Because we know they're there. NFL, for the most part, no matter what the NFL do, they're not going to turn off their base to free yours. Let's be honest. It's just not going to happen. It's not, them saying that, whatever the case may be, you saw what they did with the kneeling, whatever the case may be. They lost somebody for a few people for a little while, but guess what? Did they come back? They come, and they know it. So my point in saying is that they're looking at people that they don't have paying attention.
Right.
They want them. Because realistically, the Super Bowl was down with viewership. Some of their playoff games were down in viewership. They're trying to tap into a new audience. Us, they ain't worried about us. We're going to show up. They already know, bro. Fantasy football, football package. They got They got us until we're gone, we're hooked. They're not worried about us. My son is 19 years old. He can't wait for him and his friends can't wait for the football season to start. Can't wait. They can't wait. It's June.
We used to be like that. Oh,
yes. Can't wait. So my point is, they already know that's the core. Who's not the core?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Who's not the core? You know how many, women of pride that may not be watching football now, we turn on and start watching it?
Yeah.
That's jersey, bro. That's tickets. That's a lot of stuff that they can start to account for. I mean, some people are going to be a little turned off by it, but in the long run, please, that's smart business.
Oh, yeah. And then what you're going to probably end up doing next is, because, there are a number of, I believe there's a number of gay women that are men, gay women, particularly gay women that love NFL football.
Yeah.
Yes.
They buy the jerseys and everything. So next thing you're going to have it where they had a commercial with just a whole family of just a room full of gay women going with their favorite teams in their jerseys.
If you look at the women assistant coaches now that are out there, and the most part that are out there and all this stuff, it makes perfect sense to embrace it. And I'm not saying those coaches are gay, but it just makes sense to open the door and embrace it. And believe it or not, they learned this from Colin Kaepernick. They know they goofed up on that. They're like, no, we're not sitting on the fence. We're going to be aggressive.